Max, a really good defensive first quarter from you guys, and then sort of fell apart after that. What did you see that was working for you guys in the first and changed after the fact?
I think we're defending the paint pretty well. I believe they only had 2 points in the paint in the first quarter, and we're still getting back to contest outside shots. And then after that, they just started making a ton of threes, I believe. I'm not sure. I think they made like 27. Yeah, shot 53% from three after that. So I think that's what they did well. And yeah, maybe we should have contested those a little better. But yeah, our game plan was to cover the paint as much as we could.
Max, you've played a lot of this season with Domas being out, now Dylan being out as well. Just opens up the door even more for you in terms of just opportunity. I know Coach Christie and the rest of the coaches want you to play the right way necessarily, but how much have they encouraged you and given you the green light of feel free to experiment, try some things, and don't be afraid to fail necessarily?
I mean, they've always been behind me. Failing is part of the game, and you're going to miss half of your shot. At the end of the day, they just want us to fail right if it has to happen. That is with intensity, with the right intention. And then from there, whatever the outcome is, the outcome is. You want to write the story while the shot is in the air, not necessarily after you make it or you miss it. So they've always been supportive. They're behind us. They know that, especially for us rookies, we have a lot to develop. So they've just been very supportive with that.
Max, there's a lot of negativity when you're losing this many games, but there's also growth that we're seeing from guys like you and some of your teammates. Just what did you do during the break that maybe opened your eyes up with your passing game? Because we saw some passes tonight from you that we haven't seen before.
Oh, I think it's just we were in a couple more plays where we have some split action, and I had the ball in the split action. So you just have more opportunity to make those passes. I do think I've always been able to make those. I just think like now the opportunity presents itself a little bit more. But then for the other part of your question, I do believe for me the biggest thing during the break was a mental reset, and reading a little bit, talking to family, close people, friends, and being able to approach every day as a new day, and really seize the day. Nothing is given to you, so trying to come back with a fresh mindset of the right mentality every single day. I think that's what will help me a lot in the long term.
Max, you as a rookie, how do you feel about how the fans walked out of here tonight, leaving and booing you guys, and you won't have another opportunity to make it up to them until March 3rd. So how do you feel about that?
I'm going to be very honest. I was generally probably too much into the game to notice that. But yeah, we'll have another opportunity to show up for them. I know this season's been a lot for the players, for the organization, for the fans. I think a lot of injuries and not necessarily the success you want. Winning is important, and I feel like you understand that as an organization, whether you're a fan, whether you're a player, whether you're a coach. So it's a new page for the Sacramento King. We have a whole new staff, a whole new front office, a bunch of new players coming in as well. So we're gonna get it fixed. It's not the prettiest right now, but with time and effort, we'll get back on track.
Max, just wonder how it lands, like in the locker room back there with you, with the other guys, to be part of this losing streak, franchise record, and whether anything was said like going into this game about trying to avoid that.
Once again, you come back to every game with a fresh mindset. It's a new opportunity you have every day. We just came back from the break. To be very frank, you kind of want to leave that first half of the season behind you, trying to attack the next 5 games and try to make the most out of this, small section. We're going on the road tomorrow, so hopefully that will be, a new way to turn the page for us. I can't really speak for everyone. I feel everybody has their own way of, getting through the bubble and approaching the game. But if you believe that every single one of us are coming into a game wanting to get belt to ass, that's not the right thing. Like, obviously, we want to win games. We want to try our best to, perform every night. It's hard as the best league in the world. We're trying our best, honestly. We'll do better against San Antonio on Saturday. I believe. I hope. So, yeah, just turning the page as quickly as we can.
Max, just talk about your development over the course of the season, especially your touch around the rim, and then particularly that shot that you flipped over the backboard.
Yeah, just working on your touch shot, having vets like Russ really encouraging to take those shots and putting you in the right position to take those. That's been great. And then for that shot in particular, once you kind of hear the whistle go off, you're like, all right, just chuck it up there and hope for the best. That was pretty cool, though. I like that one.
Thanks, everyone. Appreciate it.
Keegan, can you explain that one? I mean, and you heard the fans after the game, not inspiring. You explain what happened in that game, especially giving up all those threes.
Yeah, I mean, it was the first quarter. I think we played well, and then everything got away from us. I mean, they hit 27 threes, and for them, they're a good team. Getting in the basket, drawing fouls, things like that. And we obviously didn't take away their three ball good enough, and then that led to them making shots, them getting out in transition. And we had a lot of live ball turnovers too, which fueled them. So as a team, they shot the ball really well.
So there was no discussion of saying, hey, we got to turn this water off. They're getting hot.
Yeah, there was discussion, but I mean, they're doing it in a magnitude of ways. It wasn't just one thing that was hurting us. Obviously, the three ball, but they're getting out of transition. They're hitting the pocket and spraying, and that's more of a functional thing within our defense that we obviously had to take away, and we didn't.
Keegan, welcome back. Good to see you out there. What was the last 6 weeks like for you, the recovery process, and how good was it to get back out there tonight?
Yeah, I mean, it was rough. It was my first bad ankle sprain I've ever had, and I did a pretty good amount of damage to it. So there's a lot of moments where I didn't know if I'd be back at this point just because it was taking a while. And so obviously it won't be 100% until the summertime when we have that break. So for me, it's just I'm glad to be out there and being able to play 5-on-5 basketball, which is it's tough when you're out for that long.
Keegan, just a few years ago in your rookie season, you were part of one of the best seasons in this franchise's history, or certainly in the last almost 20 years. Now, 15 straight losses is a franchise record. How does that turn around, or just everything sit with you and sit with the guys in that locker room, knowing how quickly things have changed?
It's tough. I mean, I don't really have words to explain it, to be honest. I don't know if anyone really has words to explain it. What's transpired these last 3 or 4 years. But obviously, we got to change something because this is obviously can't happen. Yeah, I mean, not many teams in NBA history have gone 15 straight losses in a row. So,
With that, you mentioned playing well in the first quarter. You guys held them to 20% in that quarter. What did you feel like was working there, and what, I guess, changed after that?
I think we limited them. They weren't getting offensive rebounds. We're limiting them to one shot. We're contesting, and we're just running around. And I think, I mean, if we could replicate that each and every quarter, that makes a winning basketball team. But I think throughout the season, we've only been able to do it for a couple quarters at a time, which obviously isn't good enough in this league.
Keegan, when you kind of look at the last 15 games or so, you guys lost in a myriad of ways, from close games, in a couple of blowouts. I'm just kind of curious, which kind of are kind of the ones that are harder to stomach? Is it the ones like tonight where you had a good first quarter, then nothing's going for you, or the ones where you're right there and then something happens at the end?
I think it's the ones that you're just not in it, not competing with the other team, and at the end of the day, you want to, especially in this situation, you want to be able to be in every ball game and have a chance to win within those last couple minutes. And we haven't given ourselves that opportunity in a while to be able to actually be able to try and win a ball game. So.
and our fans deserve more, and we'll get there. It's about as painful as it gets, obviously. The consistency at which we approach it, like you show it and then it just disappears, that's where we have to make sure that we are better, and we will be.
Doug, consistently Orlando seems to come into this building and shoot way above their average from three-point range. They set a new franchise record for themselves tonight from three, topping 2024 against the Kings.
Mm-hmm.
From a defensive perspective, how
Yep.
much of that is confidence-based and how much of that is defensive breakdown?
Well, a lot of it was defensive breakdown. Some guys falling down, guys jumping and going for steals on single-side tags. This was a big protect the paint game because they are big and they go hard in the paint, obviously, with Paolo, with Wendell Carter Jr., and Wagner coming in off the bench, and even Isaac, the size that they have. But the ability to, two hot guys over there, meaning that you have to make sure that you arrive on a catch, make sure that you make them put the ball on the deck and get inside the three-point line. But what I will say is that it's never a game plan not to close out, close the space, contest the shot. And there were many, many uncontested shots. And that's where it probably hurts the most because we don't practice that, and the guys, they definitely know that. We got stick hand. We want to make sure that we close. There are some people that you want to shoot, and they're open for a reason. They don't really have guys like that over there. Not all of them are hot guys, but one thing that you do know in this league is everybody can make a shot, and once they start making some shots, everyone all of a sudden gets confidence beyond what it is that they shoot. And after a first quarter that was, really good, up 10, only 2 points in the paint, they start to shoot the lights out. And even like talking to some of our younger players, you have to know once a guy hits a shot, you have to get closer to him. It's just an absolute must. This is something that is totally unacceptable, but we'll go back, we'll look at it. We know that you don't, at the same time, you don't overreact crazily trying to take that away and then you give up the paint. Paint is, especially the shell, is the most important thing, making sure that we arrive there. Bain is a monster shooting the ball, but Paolo made shots tonight. I mean, they all did. Jalen started it off, knocking down a couple, and then obviously De Silva and Howard off the bench knocked down some threes as well.
Doug, you had 10 points in the fourth quarter when you handed the game over to the young guys.
Yeah.
It's got to be about more than just going out there and doing cardio for these guys. How do you rein in some of the things that you saw when it's the young players out there making mistakes and not figuring it out?
Well, when we called the timeout, that was probably the best possession that we had. We ran angle pop, ball moved from side to side. They passed the ball. We get a good look. But, for 2 days we work on certain things, running patterns, making sure our running habits are right. We are getting to the corners. We're getting to our spots. If the 5 is trailing, what are we in? If the 5 is down the floor, what are we in? And then we go in the game and, the guys just start doing their own thing, and that's probably the biggest part, because I've also seen our young guys really play the right way at the same time. So, and it can get that way in a game because you want to do it so bad. You feel like that you can do it. I can hit this shot. I can make it happen. But that's not the type of team that we have, and that's not the type of team that we're building. We're building a team that has the ability to help each other. That means setting good screens, running into screens with pace, moving the basketball from side to side. When you get into the paint, make quick decisions, spray the basketball. And early we did that, and obviously late we did not.
Doug, 2 things for you. You mentioned that first quarter, great defense by you guys. I think they shoot 20% from the field.
Yep.
What did you see what was working, and how did that shift aside from them just making shots and not properly reacting to that?
I thought that the shell was really good. I mean, we had boxes and elbows. When the ball was going away, we brought the gym over, and there was nothing in the middle of the paint, and then there was second efforts to get out and contest shots and make sure that they weren't shooting them. And I'd have to go look at the tape, but I would go to say that in the second quarter, all of a sudden that went away, and the second efforts weren't there. Guys were knocking down shots. They were getting in the paint at will. We weren't catching the first drive. Those are all the typical things that happen. I would have to see exactly what it was, but the shell was really good. The activity was really good. And when you do that, you're going to get a good product most times, because really defense is about second and third efforts, especially in our league. They allow people to just bowl over people now and hit them in the chest where it used to be a charge. That's not happening. So that means that you're going to get out of position at some point. What's going to be the second effort? What's going to be the third effort? I thought we had good stunts in the passing lane. Pickup points were high. And then just slowly just fell off from there. Well, I wouldn't even say slowly. You go from 18 to 46. That's pretty crazy.
And then you talked about pregame about Maxime getting the opportunity to play make a little bit more, see him dealing with those split cuts. How much have you seen his playmaking in practice, and how comfortable does that make you in these moments?
Player development is something that we stress in trying to, and I think that you're speaking like to the backdoor cut and he made the pass. Like, those are the things that, as I told you guys, we're working on them with, and we want to see them and put them in those positions, and we did, and he took advantage of it. But that has to be a continuous thing, the ability to square up with aggressiveness. If the guy's like super on you and overplaying, let's make sure that we drive by him, get downhill, and then make a play. But super excited to see him make those plays, because it just shows that this is early in his career. He has that ability, and when he starts to put it all together with shot fakes, with putting it on the deck, with what we would old Princeton, when you dribble one way and then you spin out of it, and as soon as you dribble the next way, there's a back cut, and now he's able to make that pass. Those are the things that, if he continues to go down the path like that, it can help our offense immensely, because then you get into splits, you get into a lot of different things that, obviously, those were the plays where he made them. I had to call that play, but we want to get to the point where we read that on our own.
Hey, Doug. Just earlier you were talking about how you've been a part of, obviously, the best era in Kings history, and then obviously now coaching on the other side of that. Mm-hmm. Nobody wants to be a part of the losing side, but I guess my question to you is, how much of your desire to win stems from the glory days in the early 2000s that you as a player with this team? I mean, and again, I just want to reiterate, I understand that every coach wants to win, everybody wants to win, but for your desire, for you personally, how much of that stems from just kind of wanting to get back to where this team was?
First I would say that as a competitor, I try to win in everything that I do. The pain that I felt here was something that, in my opinion, it can affect your life in many ways. And, that was a difficult thing for me, knowing that you have the best team and you don't get there. So a lot of that is definitely part of what drives me every day to get up to, because I know what can happen here. I know what it looks like. I know what it feels like. I know how proud these people are. I know what they expect. To come out and see people play extremely hard for 48 minutes. Now, getting to the beautiful basketball of that takes time, because, we all kind of came together, and that was just a whole different vibe. But to his point, like, when you got a big and he can make those plays, now it's like, okay, now we need to work on certain things that make that beautiful basketball come out. But first and foremost, it has to be about playing defense. You do it for one quarter and then you don't do it for three quarters. That's the unacceptable part of it. So, for me, it's a pain that helps me in many ways. Like, this is therapeutic as much as it hurts like hell. It's what drives me to be a better coach, to be a better communicator, to be a better teacher, and find a way to get through to them daily, whether that's film, conversation, meeting with them, in front of them, on the floor, all the little things that we need to do. And sometimes you need something that it's not always a good thing that drives you. Sometimes it can be pain that drives you. And for me, unfortunately, right now, that's what it is.
Appreciate y'all.